Professor Zelthara's crystalline form shimmered with curiosity as she surveyed the classroom of the Galactic Academy's first integrated species course. Her multiple eye stalks focused on each student in turn, the gentle Pluraxians with their flower-like appendages, the scholarly Vrenthi floating in their containment spheres, and the newest additions to the galactic community, humans. Today, she began, her voice translating through the neural interfaces each student wore, we discussed the philosophical implications of mortality and violence across species. A simple question to begin: who among you has taken a life? Silence fell across the amphitheater. The Pluraxians rustled uncomfortably, their species had evolved past physical conflict millennia ago. The Vrenthi remained still, their gaseous forms unchanged. Violence was biologically impossible for them. Then, slowly, every human hand rose. Professor Zelthara's form flickered with shock, cycling through colors that indicated deep disturbance. 23 human students, and 22 hands raised. Only one remained down, the medical student in the third row, Dr. James Morrison, who sat with his arms crossed, his expression unreadable. This must be a misunderstanding, Zelthara said, her voice carrying a tremor that the translator rendered as uncertainty. Surely you don't mean. No misunderstanding, Professor, said Marcus Webb, an engineering student from Texas. His voice was matter-of-fact, almost casual. I grew up on a ranch. Raised cattle, chickens, hunted deer for meat. I've killed plenty. As have I, added Rachel Goldman from the agricultural program. My family runs a farm in Iowa. Livestock processing is part of life. Zelthara's form pulsed erratically. But these are sentient beings. No, Professor, interjected Kevin O'Brien, a quiet student from Boston studying xenobiology. Livestock animals on Earth. Non-sapient. We consume them for sustenance. The alien professor's horror was palpable. The Pluraxians began secreting their distress pheromones. One Vrenthi actually evacuated their containment sphere to seek emergency counseling. You consume other living creatures? Zelthara managed. Most species do, ma'am, said Lieutenant Ashley Rodriguez, one of the military liaison students. Earth never developed synthesized nutrition until we met you folks. Before that, the food chain was all we had. I've killed mosquitoes, offered Tommy Zhang, a computer science major from California, trying to lighten the mood. Millions, probably. Little blood-sucking parasites. I hit a deer with my car once, said Jennifer Walsh from Michigan. Does that count? I've put down sick animals, added Robert Hayes, a veterinary student. Mercy killings. Sometimes that's the kindest thing you can do. Professor Zelthara seemed to be struggling with sensory overload. Her form had gone a dull gray, indicating deep shock. And you, Lieutenant Rodriguez? Your hand was raised as well. Ashley's expression hardened. I'm military, Professor. I've served in conflict zones. Yes, I've killed sapient beings. Enemy combatants who were trying to kill me and my unit. She paused. I don't enjoy it. But I'd do it again to protect my people. The classroom fell silent. The weight of that admission hung in the air like a physical thing. This is. Earth must be a nightmare world, Zelthara whispered. How do you survive? How do you build civilizations when death surrounds you? Because of people like him, Marcus said, pointing to James Morrison, the only human who hadn't raised his hand. Tell her, document. All eyes turned to James, who shifted uncomfortably in his seat. I'm a trauma surgeon, he said quietly. I've spent the last 8 years in emergency medicine. I've held human lives in my hands when they were seconds from death. But you've never killed? Zelthara asked, her form brightening with something like hope. No, Professor. I've failed to save patients, that's not the same as killing. Every time someone dies on my table, it tears me apart. But I've never deliberately taken a life. He leaned forward, his eyes intense. "And that's the point you're missing about humanity." "What point?" the professor asked. "We're violent, yes. We evolved as persistence hunters on a death world where everything was trying to eat us or compete with us. We domesticated wolves into dogs, turned wild grasses into wheat, and climbed to the top of the food chain through sheer bloody-minded stubbornness." James stood up. "But we also evolved empathy. Medicine. Art. Music. We created the Geneva Conventions to limit war's horror. We have animal welfare laws. We argue about the ethics of everything from abortion to capital punishment." He gestured around the room. "Everyone here has killed, yes. But ask them how they feel about it. Marcus doesn't enjoy slaughtering cattle, it's a job. Rachel processes livestock humanely. Ashley carries the weight of her service kills every day. We're not monsters, Professor. We're survivors who developed a conscience." "And you?" Zelthara asked softly. "Why have you never killed?" James smiled sadly. "Because someone has to be the one who saves. Someone has to stand against death and say, 'Not today.' That's what doctors do. We're humanity's answer to our own violence, the proof that we're more than our bloody history." The alien professor was quiet for a long moment, processing. Finally, her form shifted to a warm amber color, understanding and respect. "I see," she said. "Humans are a paradox. You carry both the capacity for great violence and great compassion. You can take life and save it." "That's about right," James agreed. "We're trying to be better than we were. Every generation, we get a little closer." "Then Earth is not a nightmare world," Zelthara concluded. "It is a world that breeds warriors who dream of peace, and healers who stand against the darkness. Perhaps the galaxy has much to learn from you after all." As the class ended and students filed out, James lingered. Professor Zelthara approached him. "Dr. Morrison," she said. "You give me hope that humanity can find its place among the stars." James nodded. "We'll make mistakes, Professor. We'll stumble. But we'll keep trying. That's what humans do best, we survive, and we try to do better." Outside the amphitheater, the other human students waited. As James emerged, Ashley clapped him on the shoulder. "Good speech, Doc," she said. "Someone had to explain it," he replied. "They need to understand, we're not monsters or saints. We're just human." And as they walked together toward the commissary, James allowed himself a small smile. Maybe, just maybe, humanity would find its place among the stars after all.